you should be prepared, ano? Kung ayaw mo na magnanakaw, mag-prepare ka. Kasi pagka ikaw ay palamya-lamya, papasukin ka talaga na magnanakaw.
We're not seeking permanent basing here, so you're going to see an increase of rotational forces in the region, but this is more about supporting combined training, being able to respond to natural disaster or humanitarian disasters in the region, but this is really about regional readiness.
Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos immediately summoned the Chinese ambassador to express serious concern over China's increasing number of harassments against Philippine vessels. The meeting was held after the Philippines accused a Chinese ship of Coast Guards of directing a military-grade laser light at one of its vessels, temporarily blinding a crew member and disrupting a mission in the South China Sea. Reports of the incident drew condemnation from the U.S., which said it stood firm for the Philippines, which described China's behavior as provocative and unsafe, while also expressing concern, but China still does not recognize the decision of the ICC or another international court that says that the West Philippine Sea is part of the Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ. It has reached the point that our President Ferdinand Marcos needs to take steps in order to protect our country against the conquest and harassment of the Chinese. The Philippines announces the locations of 4 bases to be used by the U.S. military. The Office of Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has named 4 additional bases to which United States forces will have access under an existing defense agreement to expand military cooperation. The Philippine government announced in February that it would allow rotating batches of U.S. forces to remain indefinitely in the new camps, in addition to the 5 local bases previously designated in the locations of the additional bases, however, were temporarily detained until Monday while the government consulted with local officials. The Presidential Communications Office said in a statement that the 4 sites are in Isabela and Cagayan, on the island of Luzon, facing north toward Taiwan, and in Palawan, near the disputed Spratly Islands in the South China Sea. The bases were built by the Philippine military and deemed suitable and useful, the statement said, noting that the camps will also be used for humanitarian and relief operations during disasters. A U.S. official cited by the AFP news agency confirmed that the locations announced by the palace are the new EDCA sites. The expansion comes as China grows more assertive in its claim to the island of Taiwan, as well as the South China Sea, where it claims most of the ocean beneath its controversial 9-dash line. The Philippines, other Southeast Asian countries, and Taiwan also have overlapping claims to the sea, which is a major global trade route. While Cagayan Governor Manuel Mamba opposed the existence of EDCA sites in his province for fear of endangering his constituency against China and becoming a target in a conflict with Taiwan. But Philippine Acting Defense Chief Carlito Galvez told reporters recently that the government has already decided on the sites. The agreement allows U.S. troops to rotate through the bases and also store defense equipment and supplies there. EDCA stalled under former President Rodrigo Duterte, who sided with China, threatened to cut ties with the U.S., and expelled its troops. But relations returned under the administration of Marcos Jr., who sought to speed up the implementation of the agreement after taking office in June last year and to establish friendly relations with the U.S. China has criticized the U.S. for expanding military access to the Philippines, saying Washington is trying to intimidate and control Beijing, and the Chinese embassy has said the U.S. is doing so only out of self-interest. Joining the Philippines would seriously harm the country's interests and jeopardize regional peace and stability, the embassy said in a statement that gave the U.S. access to 4 more military bases under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement of countries, with some of the sites believed to be in provinces near Taiwan. The 2014 pact allows the U.S. to rotate its troops for extended stays as well as build and operate facilities at Philippine bases. The U.S. military is coming from the other side of the Pacific to settle the chaos in the South China Sea and is working with its allies from other parts of the world to show net strength, according to the statement. Strengthened by the Philippines, under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., rhetoric against Beijing in the territorial dispute. At the same time, it plans to resume patrolling with the U.S. in disputed waters and expand military exercises with American troops. The Marcos administration has filed at least 77 diplomatic protests against China over alleged violations in the South China Sea since it began in June last year. That is about a fifth of the 388 filings of cases made by former President Rodrigo Duterte against China during his 6 years in office. The U.S. has said that what it calls freedom of navigation operations complies with international law. The Chinese embassy's statement and Chinese President Xi Jinping's statement last week circulated on social media, where he said that China was wrestling with the U.S. Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang also warned about measures against China. We cannot blame President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. because of the defense we made in the Philippines against the harassment and insults of China and the conquest we are making. The laser incident is no longer a simple attack. It causes skin disease and possibly blindness. Even the ICC is nothing we can do, so it's light dust against China. We need help and there is the USA that is ready to help. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, or dislike, and comment on my channel. Thank you so much.